Welcome back, everyone. Auto bailouts, federal stimulus, Obamacare, and a growing list of regulations. Big government seems to be the winner again, along with President Obama as he gets ready for a second term. But our next guest says we can thank two past presidents, both a Democrat and a Republican, for our bloated bureaucracy. Joining me now, the author of Theodore and Woodrow, Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano, who always has a smile on his face.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Good morning. All right, so Theodore and Woodrow, what would they do to bloat the government?
Well, you know, they couldn't stand each other. One was a Republican, one was a Democrat. They actually ran against each other, but they both shared this common idea that the Constitution was not the supreme law of the land, it was just a guideline. And once in the White House, the president could do almost anything he wanted. Certainly the federal government could right any wrong and enact any regulation and tax any event that it wanted. Sound familiar? This was the beginning, it's 100 years ago now, of the era in which the federal government would have a personal relationship with individuals, in which businesses would be bailed out and individuals would receive welfare from the federal government. And in return, a dependency would be created by the government on the part of those people who would then always want to vote for progressives so that they would give them a bigger piece of the pie.
It
took 100 years for this to triumph.
But I mean, it's so timely because many people are arguing that's the era in which we live in now. I want to go through some of the things that came into play then under those two presidents. Compulsory education.
One would think the federal government would have nothing to do with compulsory education. But Theodore Roosevelt was determined to make sure that the states forced everyone to go to school. Sounds like a good idea, except it was the state version of history, and it was the state version of government, and it was the state version of religion. It was profoundly anti-Catholic and anti-Jewish at the time that the schools were teaching, pushed by the federal government.
Federal Reserve.
Well, the Federal Reserve, of course, was a monster then and a monster now. When the country was created in 1776, up to the time of the Federal Reserve, the value of the dollar went up 8%. In the past 100 years since the Federal Reserve, it's gone down 92%. Why? Because they crank out free money, and that devalues the cash that all of us
Thanks
have.
for the pick-me-up, Judge. And I'm going to move on
check your bank account.
Here's another downer. Federal income tax.
Well, the federal income tax, of course. Remember Tip O'Neill? Money is the mother's milk of politics. Under Wilson and under Roosevelt, the two of them conspired together to start taxing incomes. It gave the federal government an unending spigot of cash that actually let them spend before the cash came in, and it started the bloating bureaucracy.
All right, and of course you end with regulations, and we all know what those are, and they've become abundant in the last 4 years as well. Judge, good luck on the book.
This is my
seventh?
Yes, I'm going to take a break for at least a year.
Wow. You deserve it. Check out his new book.